If you've ever had someone tell you, this sounds amazing, but I need to think about it, you do not have a lead problem, you have a leverage problem. Because if you've got leverage and the value compared to the price is so much higher, it makes selling really, really easy. Because if you have a really bad offer, your marketing is going to be harder, your sales are going to be harder, and you're going to get less results for your clients as well, which means less testimonials, which again plays into the loop. So why does one offer scale and another just ends up failing despite it being the exact same coach, the exact same service, yet one feels irresistible and then the other one nobody really even cares about? Like I'm saying, the difference is leverage. So if we're going to break this down, what really matters is the amount of value that you're able to produce. And you may have seen a very similar equation from Hormozi or something similar here. But the biggest thing is the dream outcome, so what they actually are getting and their belief of it happening, right? So how do they actually believe that this thing can happen? Because it's great if they think they're going to win the lottery, right? But they don't actually think it's going to happen, right? If they don't believe it, then it isn't actually that good. And then divided by, so on the bottom half, so this is what we want to reduce, is the effort that they need to put in order to get the dream outcome. Same with how long does it take them to get it, okay? Because this is the math behind every single yes. The top, you want to make it bigger, better, just as good as you can. And then obviously you want to make it faster, reducing the amount of time it takes, and easier, where you can reduce the effort it takes as well, okay? And obviously we want to make them feel as certain as possible that it is going to happen and that we can extrapolate the dream outcome, So for example, somebody to lose just £10 versus somebody that's going to lose £50 and feel so much better. And like the energy they're going to get, the being able to go out with their friends and feeling confident, feeling strong on a night out, etc. Okay. But the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to just sell the plan. You don't want to just sell them that they're going to get a meal plan, they'll have an accountability coach, they'll have a personalized workout plan. And with this example of like the market, we'll just use men over 30, like around 30 to 45, and they just want to reclaim strength, energy, and leadership, okay? So this is obviously better than get a meal plan. Drop 20 pounds, finally see your abs again without having to give up beer or family dinners. It's pretty much the same thing because this meal plan is going to help them lose 20 pounds. It's going to let them end up seeing their abs. And if it's a meal plan that works for them, they're not going to have to give up beer and they're not going to have to give up their family dinners. It's the same thing, just this is framed so much better and way more attractive, especially to the people you're selling to. And I won't go too much into detail with this, but like get an accountability coach. Wake up clear-headed, focused, no more mid-afternoon crashes. Again, that one plays probably more into the meal plan, but it's the same element that you don't need to sell the idea of, because people, like an accountability coach is important, but people don't want an accountability coach. They need an accountability coach. And then next up is get a personalized workout plan. Feel like the hero your partner married and your kids look up to. Again, isn't a direct correlation of a workout plan, but this is going to be the actual outcome, right? This is what the transformation is. This is what they want. They want this. They don't really care about the how. They don't care that they're going to need a workout plan. They don't care they're going to need a meal plan, but they want this to happen. This is the dream outcome. Okay. And then another big part of this around the belief is the proof and then a plan that they feel like they can execute, right? So this is why getting your testimonials are so important. And for most of the time, you want to push them as much as possible. If you don't have any client testimonials at the moment, the first thing you need to do is just take your first 10 clients for free. Because if you just take your first 10 clients for free, get them some amazing results, it'll be so much easier to get client 11, 12, 13, 14 than it ever would be to try and get 10 clients without any proof. And then the other element of this is a plan that is easy to follow. It is clear, laid out, and is achievable for them. And that's how you're going to, simplest way you can improve the belief. And then effort. Obviously, the higher the effort is, the lower the sales are going to be. Because if they're going to have to put in a crazy amount of effort, and obviously in fitness it isn't easy, but you want to do everything you can to get effort to be as low as possible, right? And you want to do this in just ways that you find that your prospects have problems. This is the whole point they're coming to you. The biggest effort is if they have to make their meal plan themselves. They have to figure out their nutrition. They have to figure out what the best time is to go to the gym, or anything that you can help them with or do for them, that lowers the actual effort it takes them to attain the goal. So just take some time and write out what are all the biggest problems that your guys are facing or have faced, and see how can you help them solve them or solve them for them completely. And another big element is actually speed, right? People don't want to wait 6 months to get a result, which is why you want to make you want to kind of play on short-term wins. What wins can you get them quickly so they don't lose the want to keep going, right? So what we always like to do is create like a 48-hour first win, and it can be really simple as just getting their first steps in, getting them to start weighing themselves, or just something that kind of plays into this new identity, but is also really easy for them and helps them see a result. So a great example on a little bit longer time scale, we'll normally get our coaches to make sure the guys are going a little bit more extreme to start with, especially if they're quite overweight. And they tend to be able to sustain that in the earlier weeks, and that way they're able to get a much quicker result a lot faster, and then they've seen such a big result that they're going to want to continue, okay? But basically, you just want to shorten the gap from the point of when they sign up with you to the point that they get their end result as well. But if you want a little bit more detail and you want me to give you a personalized offer breakdown of where you're at the moment and help you develop your offer, DM me on Instagram at Charlie M. Richardson, and I will break down your offer, give you some tips and advice on what you can do to get better. But let's carry on. So you want to put the math in that we've gone over, but you want to engineer the demand, okay? Because you need to talk to your clients, you need to extract real problems, and then make the offer based off of what they say. Making an offer just because you think it's good doesn't get anywhere. You want to build your offer based off of what the people you're selling to actually need, actually want more than anything. What is it that they want, and how can you make that offer for them in the best way possible and keep building on it as you go, okay? Let's look at some offers that have worked in the online space, right? So if we look here, VShred, they sold the shortcut, right? Is the people that VShred sold to, they wanted the easy solution. They wanted the easy way out. And how they framed it, free metabolic assessment, and it basically would promise to fix what's broken, right? You don't have to just burn calories, you don't have to work hard. There's something that's broken about you. We've got the secret that can help you fix it. And that's why it works. If you fix your metabolism, fat loss is going to be effortless. Diago Fit sold the power and safety of the element, right? The guys that came to Diago, men were chasing amazing physiques, but they also feared the risk of what goes wrong if they jump on steroids and something bad happens, right? They get gyno, they just feel like shit, or, serious elements, people could die from it, right? So this blood work and going to somebody trusted made the journey feel way more controlled and just completely removed that huge pain. That's what made the offer so good. And then he stacked it on top with normal coaching, right? But he had the unique mechanism of helping people that wanted to jump on steroids. And then this other offer, they sold the comeback and was very, very optimized, okay? So blood optimization, hormone optimization, and basically removing the health handbrake that people have on them. They promised men over 40 a way to drop 20 to 30 pounds, regain muscle, and feel like they were in their prime again in 90 days or less. That's a pretty good offer compared to, hey, I'm a fitness coach. Do you want coaching, right? That's the way you want to frame it. And then guess what? You can stack this more and more with guarantees and different things on the element that lowers that risk, more likely, that increases the perceived likelihood of it happening, and also lowers the time element as well. But yeah, going back to the equation, before you're spending more and trying to get more people through the door, seeing more people to see you as well, fix the offer, man. Because if you have a good offer, more people are gonna want to sign up when you're running ads, when you're making content, when you're posting on your story, if the offer is what people actually want and it's really good. And that's just going to turn every element of your sales process, your marketing process, into more revenue. It's going to make your show up rate better. It's going to make your close rate better. It's going to mean more people, your cost per lead is going to be lower. You're going to end up with more qualified followers. So by fixing one thing, you are able to improve everything else downstream, which is one of the biggest leverage moves you can make. Going over it again, You want to make the dream outcome as big as you can, like the end result that they can get. And then as well with the belief, they should be able to believe that this is going to happen 100%, and it should take them as little effort as possible and happen as quick as possible. Okay, but now let me give you an example that's really going to drill this home. Okay, so if we take coaching versus liposuction, right? Dream outcome, exactly the same. They both want to look great, feel great, and be able to be confident in their own body, right? So the dream outcome is exactly the same. So why on earth is one of them willing to only pay $150 a month while someone else for the same thing is willing to pay $20,000 plus, right? It's because although the dream outcome is the same, all these other three things are different and they're in the right way. So belief. They believe it's way more likely to happen because they're not worrying about all the things they're going to have to do, like meal plans, workouts, that sort of thing. And they know everybody that goes to liposuction, they do come out with the fat removed. So they believe there's a 100% chance that it's going to happen for them. The effort required is astronomically lower. There's no workout plans they have to follow. There's no meal plans. It's just go in, get knocked out on anesthetic, wake up, feeling better, looking better, right? And then the time as well. There's no 3 months, 6 months waiting for the weight to slowly go off. It's literally go in, go to sleep, wake up, the fat is gone. Sure, maybe a bit of recovery time, but that's why someone's willing to pay so much more, because the technical value of this is way higher. However, I've got good news for you. You do not need to go study med school for 7 years, so then you can go do liposuction. Luckily enough, there's an element that you can play on is if you make your coaching valuable enough by obviously maximizing all of these four in each of your offer, but also you've got an element with coaching that's actually way more beneficial, which is if you do it right, these are lifestyle long changes, right? This is a way bigger change than liposuction. Guess what? Unless they change their habits, they're going to end up with the fat on again. Well, if you're able to coach somebody through it smartly enough, get them to change their mindset and their habits, they're going to keep off the weight forever. That's how you can make a coaching offer. Maybe not charged for $20,000, but definitely moving into the $3,000, $5,000. I've seen even some we've sold for $10,000, just fitness coaching programs. If you were thinking, Jesus Christ, these are so many different things I've got to worry about, don't worry, I have got you. I've built you a free AI that's going to help you build your offer from scratch. It's going to ask you the questions, ask as much context as possible to help you make the best offer. Okay, so just click the link in the description below. You'll be able to access our AI offer builder, and it is the exact same system that we've used with our clients to generate over $1.5 million in sales. So get on it, get using it, and make that offer. That's your action step from here, is get that offer built. But yeah, if this was remotely useful, guys, please drop a subscribe below, and I'll catch you in the next video.